iHeal is a medical devices technology company, and it focuses mainly upon people who face chronic diseases. Now, to talk about the chronic diseases, in India, we can say that we boast about being the diabetic capital of the world. Every household you go, every family you meet, you will definitely see one of the four people either facing from chronic diseases like asthma, COPD, or diabetes. To tackle around that, we ventured into an understanding that what we can do to actually identify one of these chronic diseases. What is the overall background of this disease and how it is affecting the overall health ecosystem in India. So we joined down and went into understanding the COPD, which is the precursor of asthma, chronic pulmonary disorder. So to understand COPD, we ventured around different hospitals in India. One of them was Narayana Vidyalaya in Bangalore, another was the Postmaster Hospital in Pune. And one of our precursor visits was to the pulmonology departments of these hospitals, trying to understand what is the case and condition that various asthma or COPD patients face. To do that, we met one of the senior head of the pulmonology departments and understood a test examination, that what kind of issues were happening, and tried to interview a lot around patients and their families. So one of the critical outcomes or issues that we could face is that whenever a patient was having an issue around asthma, it was essentially that he used to come and report to the doctor. The doctor used to suggest him to go to a diagnostic lab and try to take certain diagnostic readings, and based upon those readings, come out with certain level of prescription. So in the face of it, we could understand that doctor was essentially trying to measure the spot vision, because asthma condition or a COPD condition is essentially prolonged over a period of time. As if the chronic patient is essentially the patient who has illness for a prolonged period of time. And the core issue of not measuring your vitals. Now, here we are trying to build up a device which measures vitals on a daily basis. And the core issue of not measuring vitals cause spot measurements, and spot measurements essentially lead to underdiagnosis or overdiagnosis to a patient. So this has been a condition that a lot of asthma and diabetic patients face over a period of time. And one of the precursors is that in India we don't follow our health proactively. We try to be more reactive rather than proactive. So coming up with this device was again a lot of engineering, a lot of electronics, a lot of technology at the back end of it. It's a patent-pending technology. We are still working around on calibrating these devices and trying to host it in hospitals where we are doing clinical trials. So PFT is a test which needs to be taken at the diagnostic center. So let me just move forward by telling you how it works. So patients take OxyTrac, this device at home, measure his vital readings on a daily basis. Over the mobile application, the readings are sent over to the cloud, and the doctors can access it through various patient health records. One of the things that we are also building at the back end is a patient health record. And this is the overall system where we are trying to build up why the business model could work in by bringing the doctors into the place. The doctors would prescribe this device to the patients, and they would be the essential people who do the buying. And this could be sold over the counters at pharmacies as a distribution network. And we just are trying to build different roadmaps of the current OxyTrac as a product. So on the longer term, we are trying to build up effortless device aggregators, trying to do the prediction of attack analysis, like what can be the overall history log and how we can work around with doctors to understand what are the core precursors of chronic attacks. And we are trying to build up sensors and IoT enabled devices. To talk about the team, myself into design and technology for the last 6 years. Mehbul is the guy with instrumentation and technology. He's a part of Postmaster, the control system instrumentation engineer with 20 years of experience. Rohit is a Cisco guy with software architecture background.
Your primary business is going to be the device.
Yeah. So let me tell you about the device. This is a technology that even IT Bombay was trying to build up. they built up the spirometer, which was under costing $115. We could build the same device at $40. That is where we are.
I'm just, so that part of it seems strong enough. You said that you also have some patent pending, right? My point of confusion is you spoke about the cloud integration, right? Now, my question for you is that two businesses or is that one business?
It is one business itself. The cloud technology that we are trying to build is essentially to gather the patient health records. In India, we totally lack the scene of keeping one's health record and accessibility of those records. So we are trying to measure our overall business of keeping health records on the basis of four vitals provided by WHO: accessibility, affordability, availability, and appropriateness of technology. So based on that, we are trying to build up a scene where data is accessible by various patients as well as doctors as well as the hospitals in Kashmir.
Two questions. One is, what is your closest competitor in terms of technology? And second, what is the biggest hurdle that you foresee?
Okay, the closest competitor being at this point of time is that there are, we have to break the hurdle of actually trying to go and pitch this device to hospitals. Now, hospitals have this huge PFT devices in the diagnostic labs as well as in pathology labs that cost around 1.5 lakh to 2 lakhs. And trying to get this device exactly calibrated to that device is one of the biggest hurdles that we are trying to do over a period of next 1 year. The second biggest hurdle is the regulatory issues which we will be definitely facing in the healthcare space. Now FDA in US requires a lot of lobbying and 1 year of slog work. In India, ICMR does the same thing with almost 1.5 years of regulatory approvals before the device product. There are no direct competitors as such, but when you talk about PHR and all, today all like devices like Google Fit platform, Apple iOS health platform, they are bringing up health applications into the space. So completing a build-up of a personal health record with them is something we can say can be competition, or we can also leverage upon those technologies.
Which was my question again, right? You have one business or do you have two businesses? And my question is that the hardware part of yours, could that be sold without the cloud?
That is something we are still figuring out. That is one of the feedback we got from one of the investors, that we can still do the technology part of it and try to sell off this device as a modular stuff.
Because you rightly pointed out that there is the cloud portion of it, there is already substantial competition for us, right? And what will be the effort that it takes for you to develop that platform versus just piggybacking onto somebody's platform? That may be something to consider.
Couple of feedbacks and one question. Make your pitch very crisp. Okay, you have a good product. We could see that. And healthcare is like, if you have made something valuable which IIT Bombay has not been able to do that, you will be able to sell it. We could assume that, how it goes. So make it very crisp. Your third slide, where you told me how the chain flows through patient, should be your first slide. And you should only focus on that. Then it took me around 2 to 3 minutes to understand what you're talking about. So that's one feedback to you. Second is, there is always a competition. You think there is no direct competitor, there is always a competitor. Even it also who that is. And finally, the point which he mentioned, be very sure which business you are in. Because what I understand, your USP is that device, which probably guys at IIT Bombay has not been able to develop. So try to position it that way. Maybe the cloud part or the analytics part can be done by you later, or can be outsourced probably to a third party. Because your energies would go to delivering the device and helping them users get used to it and use it on a daily basis. So focus on that.
And last question is, this seems like your particular product, this industry, it's the life cycle, the cycles are somewhat longer. How are you all sustaining yourself? Each of you are working somewhere.
We are working somewhere and we are finally moving on the ideas of starting a business. The thing is, we don't require a direct funding. We are bootstrap. We are pushing our own money into it. But yeah, at a point of time, we could ask for a bigger amount.
Make sure one guy comes full time very quickly. make sure that happens. And probably it should be the guy who would be selling the product. That guy should come full time with you.
Rule of thumb, yeah, when you're ready to hit for funding, if also you're still part-time at that point, you can forget investors talking to you. You have to take the plunge.